Welcome to Present Poetry, a podcast where we sit back, relax, and enjoy some poets of the past and present. I'm your host, Erin Crittenden, and before we get started on this week's episode, I want to remind you that all of the material used in this podcast is either public domain or used with permission from the author or the author's estate. It's a fun time for all ages, so sit back, relax, and get ready to hear this week's featured poet. This week's featured poet is Julie Brandon. Julie Brandon is a poet, playwright, storyteller, and lyricist. Her new poetry collection, My Tears Like Rain, is now available on Amazon. Julie's work has appeared in Bewildering Stories, Corner Bar Magazine, Awakenings Review, Poetica Magazine, Writing of Love During War Poems Anthology, Yisrael Anthologies Volume 1 and 2, Mini Plays Magazine, Of the Book Literary Journal, and Fresh Words. Several of her short plays and monologues have been produced both locally and in Great Britain, and 2 short plays will be presented on podcasts later this year. She lives in Chicago, and we are reading several of her poems which she submitted through the forum at presentpoetry.com. This poem is called Fingertips of Fire. No one ever told me I wasn't capable, but the critic in my head did. No one ever told me not to try, but somehow I believed it. No one ever told me to hide my light, but it remained covered for years. Until that day, that amazing day, I awoke, somehow changed, and told myself I could. My fingertips brushed the stars, and I was never the same. This poem is called Rhododendrons. I have this sound I make deep in my throat, unbidden, unplanned, unintentional, when it's hot or humid, or I'm just plain disgusted. Something between a yuck and a ugh. A bit guttural. Today was such a day. As I was leaving a store and stepped into the sticky heat, I made the sound. A woman walking by smiled and said, "It would be great if we were rhododendrons." It puzzled me, not being a gardener, and I wondered if she was right. But, not having a choice, I turned the AC on high, leaving the humidity to the rhododendrons. I hope they enjoy it. This poem is called Heat and Fire. I am a summer child, born as heat rose from sidewalks and roads, shimmered in the air, a mirage, scalded the feet of those foolish enough to run barefoot. I am a summer child, too cold in winter, bundled in layers of sweaters, longing for bright sunlight, pale skin craving warmth and pinkness. I am a summer child, born of late nights and star-filled skies, thunderstorms that left stickiness behind, clothes clung with dampness to our skin. I am a summer child, of cool lakes and ocean breezes, the smell of coconut on my skin, flip-flops and sand that gets everywhere. I am a summer child. Fire runs through my veins, sunlight shines from my eyes, heat warms me from within. I am a summer child. This poem is called Endless Land. If only I could soar like a swallow, far above this world we've built, of bricks and stones, creating borders where none exist, causing death and pain, while the land and rivers and seas flow as they always have, knowing that one day we'll be gone and it will be theirs once again. This poem is called edge. When the light returns, we'll know. There is a space between darkness and light, so small, so very narrow. Blink and you'll miss it, gone in a breath. The space where pain turns to joy, happiness becomes sorrow. We straddle the unseeable line, turning first one way, then the other, teetering on the thin razor blade of separation, deep black or blinding light, and every shade in between. We'll know, in our land, to our people, sadly expected, when the light returns. Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Present Poetry Podcast. If you enjoyed the show, feel free to like us, leave a review, or share us on social media. If you are a poet or you know someone who is, we would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us or submit your work through our website, which is www.present-poetry.com. Again, that is www.present-poetry.com. We can't wait to hear from you.